Hundreds of foreign troops are fighting in Ukraine. Among those soldiers of fortune are Colombians, writes the Wall Street Journal. The publication told about Johnny Pinilla, who defends Ukraine from Russian aggression. For 10 years, the man fought with guerrillas in the jungles of his country, but those crazy battles seemed like a vacation to him compared to what he saw in Ukraine, where he had to flee from Russian artillery fire. I had no idea whether I would live or die, the 40-year-old recalls. Difficulties were added not only by the foreign language, but also by the unfamiliar alphabet and the subzero temperature, which contrasted sharply with the tropical heat to which the man was accustomed. However, he himself says that he sees no alternative to life in battle. War is the only profession I know. Fighters like Johnny Pinilla are part of a growing market of veterans from poor countries looking to make money, most of them pursuing drug and human traffickers. According to Ukraine, 20,000 foreign soldiers have joined its ranks, including people from the Caucasus and even the Indian subcontinent, East Asia and South America. Among the troops defending Ukraine are Argentines, who once served in Haiti, Brazilians, who fought drug traffickers, Algerians and Kenyans, who fought Al-Qaeda in Africa. A veteran of the Taiwanese army, which is now also facing the threat of invasion from China, died in Pinilla's unit in October 2022. Some mercenaries are adrenaline junkies. Others are driven by a hint of idealism. Pinilla said he and many of his comrades want to support a country that really needs help against Russia. If the mercenaries only wanted money, he said, they would go to Mexico and join drug cartels, the report says. Pinilla spent 12 years fighting Marxist rebels in the Colombian jungle. In 2014, he left the army and tried to join other Colombians applying for a new mercenary job. After passing the first selection, he spent 3 months training before some of the men in the group bribed a doctor to pass a physical. According to Pinilla, the recruiter found out and turned them all away. For nearly a decade, he made ends meet, working as a security guard for wealthy businessmen. But the man kept looking for work abroad. In mid-2023, while scrolling through a WhatsApp group of Colombian veterans, he saw a job offer. The Ukrainian army was recruiting experienced fighters for $3,300 a month to fight, compared to $500 for a Colombian officer, so he decided to go. In Ukraine, the man commands a 30-man intelligence unit. The foreigners were also assigned a translator, although much communication took place via smartphone apps. But Colombians are not only fighting on the Ukrainian side. One day, a commander told Johnny Pinilla that intercepts indicated that his unit might encounter other Colombians fighting for Russia. When asked what he would do, Pinilla replied that his men would fight them because anyone who sides with Russia is an enemy, regardless of whether they are from our country or not. Since the beginning of the full-scale invasion of Ukraine, hundreds of citizens from different parts of the world have come to defend the Ukrainian people from Russian aggression. There were volunteers from the US, Taiwan, Brazil, and even South Korea. Unfortunately, among the foreign volunteers, there are missing persons and those who paid the highest price, gave their lives in the war for Ukraine.
A Chinese Navy helicopter flew within 10 feet of a Philippine patrol plane on Tuesday in a disputed area of the South China Sea, as the Filipino pilot warned over the radio, "You are flying too close, you are very dangerous." According to Associated Press, the Cessna Caravan turboprop plane of the Philippine Bureau of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources defied the Chinese Navy's order for it to leave and continued its routine patrol over the hotly disputed Scarborough Shoal off the northwestern Philippines. The plane was carrying an Associated Press journalist and other invited foreign media representatives, who witnessed the tense 30-minute standoff. "Keep away and distance your aircraft from us. You are violating the safety standards set by the FAA and ICAO," the Philippine pilot radioed during the tense encounter. The pilot was referring to the standard distance between aircraft required by the Federal Aviation Administration and the International Civil Aviation Organization to prevent air disaster. The Philippine Coast Guard and the Bureau of Fisheries said in a statement they remain committed to asserting our sovereignty, sovereign rights and maritime jurisdiction in the West Philippine Sea, despite the aggressive and escalatory actions of China. West Philippine Sea is the Philippine name for the stretch of waters in the South China Sea close to the Philippines' western coast. Chinese officials did not immediately comment on the incident, but in past encounters they have steadfastly asserted China's sovereignty over the Scarborough and surrounding waters and warned that its forces would protect its territorial interests at all costs. The dangerous encounter, which is expected to be protested by the Philippine government, is the latest red flag in the decades-long territorial standoff involving China, the Philippines, Vietnam, Malaysia, Brunei, and Taiwan in one of the world's busiest trade routes.
China's military helicopter. This is Bureau of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources of the Philippine government. Cessna Caravan 28B Romeo Papa 1077, conducting a lawful maritime patrol within the exclusive economic zone. You are flying too close. You are very dangerous and endangers the life of our crew and passengers. Keep away and distance of your aircraft from us. You are violating the safety standards set by the FAA and ICAO.
So many text messages. Well, according to the pilot, there were two instances that the Philippine Navy helicopter did a dangerous flight maneuver. The first one, it came close at a distance of only 3 meters, less than 10 feet. So that's very dangerous. As you saw from the video that we released, the Philippine Navy helicopter hovered above the port side of the aircraft.
I just took that role upon myself.
They're like they're.
Greece may transfer up to 32 F-16 Block 30 fighter jets to Ukraine, Le Monde reports. Earlier, it was planned that these aircraft would be sold to the US for modernization and then delivered to Ukraine. However, so far, the US has not transferred a single F-16, even from its reserves. Greece has consistently supported Ukraine since the war's onset. Days after the invasion began, the country sent 2 C-130 planeloads of military equipment to Ukraine. This early support prompted criticism from the Russian embassy in Athens, which called on Greek politicians to come to their senses and stop anti-Russian propaganda. Now, reports indicate that 32 of the aircraft could be headed to Ukraine, where they will eventually join others donated by Belgium, Denmark, the Netherlands, and Norway. The Netherlands and Denmark promised in August 2023 to jointly provide Ukraine with 61 American F-16 fighter jets. This was preceded by a transfer authorization from the United States. Norway also sent its F-16s. Belgium also provided Ukraine with F-16s. The Netherlands announced its decision to begin preparations for the first 18 aircraft transfer to Ukraine in December of 2023, and later increased this number to 24. In total, the country has promised Kyiv 42 fighters.